Hi, this is the help video for PowerPoint Chapter 3. This is Pause and Practice 3.1. I have the instructions on the left, the file on the right. I'm going to go ahead and save it as. And one of the things to note is this chapter has 4 pause and practices, but we're only doing the first 3. So we're going to name it with a 3.3 on the end. The other thing I want to note is at the time of this recording, there's a file missing here, but in the zipped file, instruction file, it is included. So if you use the resource zip file with the instructions and all the necessary files, you will have that. Okay, so we have this file open, we have it renamed. What we're going to do now is we're going to tweak the colors that are with this theme. And so this is really useful, like if you have a theme, but let's say your company has specific color combinations that they use. You can set up this your own theme of those colors and save them as a name, and then you can reuse them. So what we're going to do is work on that right now. So up here in the Design tab, in this variant group, I'm going to start by doing the More button and picking colors. And then I'm going to come all the way down and do Customize Colors. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our own theme like one of these. So I'm going to customize it. So now we have different colors that apply to different parts of a presentation. And so we're going to use this chart to change some of these. So right here where this text background light 2 is currently set to this light blue, we're going to change it. And how we change it, we're going to use this down arrow and we're going to go to more colors. And so colors on a computer are often done in amounts of red, green, and blue, if you've ever heard of RGB. So how much red, how much green, how much blue is in that pixel of color. And so the higher the number, the more of that color is included in the overall color. So right now you see we're on this blue. We're going to change the red value here to 234. And you can see it moving as we're doing it. We're adding more red to it, and it's moving across. Green is going to be 214, so we're going to reduce it just a little bit. Right? So now we have kind of this lavender, and now we're going to really drop down the amount of blue, 184, and you can see it moving down here. And it went across the screen, 184. So it's kind of this like tan. So I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And I'm going to do the next one. So I'm going to find accent 1, which is this kind of gold. Notice here your colors that you're building are going to appear right here. So we make sure we're on the custom tab. I forgot to say that last time, custom. Then we're going to change the amount of red, green, blue. So red is really low, very little red, so 3. Look how it changed to a bright green. Then 110 for green, and 131. So we're getting like a teal almost. We're going to go ahead and do OK. And then we're going to select accent 2, more, custom. And then the amount of red is 102, absolutely no green. So look, we have a dark purple. And then when we put in a little bit of blue, it turns into this kind of burgundy color. Accent 3, more colors, custom, 181, 139, and 128. 181, 139, 128. Okay. Now, before I hit save, this theme color right now is called Custom 1. We want to call it Planning. So once I do that, I can save it. And now look at everything on my screen change to, right, that light blue is now that tan. So we used all of those colors in the theme. The other thing that we can see is we now have, and I've done this a couple times, so we now have the theme up here in this custom group as opposed to the standards, right? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is apply this gradient fill on this slide 1. Look, right now it's this dark brown background, but look at what we're going to. So it's going to be a gradient from this kind of aqua teal color down to the darker tan. So to do that, we want to be on slide 1, and we want to format the background. And the easiest way to do that is to be on the background. So not in a, we don't want to be on an object, but just on the background. Right click, Format Background. It brings up the Format Background screen, and we want to pick Gradient Fill. And it's going to come up with this slider, and on that slider there's stops, right? So we're going to end up changing these. We want to define how is it going to be gradient from the circle, from the center out, from the edge to the edge, from this edge to this edge. So that's up here is the type, right? So I could change it to radial, right? All of those. We want linear, and we want the direction to be, I think it's this one right here, linear diagonal, top right, bottom left. And so we changed it, and here's like, it changed the orientation of it. Angle should be 135, so we're good. All right, so now what we're going to do is work with these gradient stops. We need 4 stops, and we're going to move through and pick the color and then the properties for that color. So right here is the table. So stop 1, which is this left one, we're going to pick the color, and we want teal accent 1, so this top dark teal there. Look, it changes. And then we want 0, 0, 0, so that's good. We're going to click the next stop. We're going to change the color there to dark teal, but lighter 60. So that's kind of, what is that right there? And then we want to change where this stop is across the screen. So we're going to change that down to 30, and you can watch the stop moving back. So we're going to change that to 30. And then we want transparency 50. We're going to up the transparency. And brightness is 0. Okay, so then we're going to go to the third stop, and we're going to switch from the teal to the tan. And tan, 4th column, 1st row, right there. And 70% is the position. And 0, 0. Pick the 4th stop, color, tan, but now we're going to go down to the darker, right down there, 50% all the way at the bottom there. And the position is 100, 0, negative 50. So the brightness, we're going to bring, oops, I went the wrong way. Negative 50. Excellent. Okay, so this now looks very much like that. And oops, kind of a much more interesting background than just the solid brown. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do on slide 2 is we want to put a picture on here. And this is the file that was missing from up here, but it is included in your zip file. So once again, we point to the anywhere on the background, do right click, Format Background, which I just closed, I didn't need to, and we're going to do picture or texture. It's going to automatically put a texture in there, but we know we want to change it to a picture. So we're going to do picture source, insert, and from a file, and you're going to find where you have the file. So I'm going to find mine. So we want this presenter. And there it is, super dark, right? Like that's not a very good look for that slide. So what we want to do is we want to recolor this kind of in the theme of the presentation. So up here on the format background, we want to pick the one that looks like a picture. And we want to do picture recolor. Sorry, recolor is right here. We're going to click on that, and we want to find tan background to light. And we are done with that, so we're going to go ahead and close that up. All right, so then the next thing we're going to do is apply a transition on slides. So we're going to come up here to transition, click the transition down. We want to find wipe. So I'm going to open this up. It's right up here. We're going to do wipe, and then it is from left, and we're going to apply to all. So now all of these have the little asterisk or the little star that tells me there's a transition. So now what we want to do is start to animate. Okay, so animate is within a slide. And I think I'm going to stop the movie at this point and pick up with step 7 animation in the next movie. All right, thank you.